last class, I promised we are going to be working on block level and inline elements. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how that works and why it is important to understand this. What is block level elements? So block level elements are HTML tags or HTML elements that we use in structuring our web page, and they are type of elements that takes up like the full width of the web page. For instance, where we use the p tag. The p tag is an example of HTML block level element. So if I type, let's say my name is Simon here, and I Control X, okay? Or let's give it a heading so that we know that we are working on block level now. Block level element. Okay, Control S. So block level element, and I type my name is Simon. Now this p tag, which is as we can see here, is a block level element. Why? Because it takes up the full width of this particular web page. Okay, it takes up the full width. If we inspect this and we use the box model to review what is inside. So let's scroll down to see. Now we see that this is the p tag. As you can see like an orange and a blue line. So the orange line simply represents the margin. Like there's like an auto margin that our browser gives to every block level element to space out the content. Because without this spacing, when you stack up the elements, it will be too currently packed together. So we need to avoid that, and that's why like there's like a brain inside your browser that tells anytime you use a block level element is you assign this particular fixed value of margin, okay, on that particular element you are using. So this, as you can see, and you see the blue line represents that it shows that this p tag takes the full width of the page. Okay, it's not that we can reduce the width of this particular element, but just to let you know that a block level element takes up the full width of the web page. It's like you having a box on a shelf, okay, and you want to add another box. So the box actually takes up the space within that shelf, and you want to put another or the same type of box next to that box. It is impossible. Okay, so that's how a block level element is. They actually stack up on the web page. Okay, so if I add another p tag here, if I say another p tag, or yeah, and I say my name is Simon, if I Control S, you will see that it stacks up on each other. Okay, they are not on the same line because each of them have their full width. Okay, they have their full width, so they cannot be on the same line. If they don't have the same width, then they can be side by side, but because they are both having the same width and they are both block level, they stack on each other, just like the analogy of the box on the shelf. When you have two block level elements, they stack on each other, they take the full width of a web page. Okay, and another example is the div. The div is an example of block level elements. This is a container. Okay, if Control S. So the div is also another example of block level elements. As you can see, if I hover on it, you see that it's the same thing. It takes the full width of the web page. Okay, and if we give it a background, let's give it like an inline styling. We say style. We say style, and we say background color is equals to what? Let's say orange, and we Control S. You see that it takes the full width of this particular page. Same thing, and mostly these are examples of the block level element. There are other examples of block level elements like the form, like the input field, okay, and others like that, articles, sections. They are all block level elements that we can use to organize content on our web page. That's block level elements. So you need this because whenever you are working on a project and you have an AI generated code, and at some point there's an error, okay, there are like sloppiness in the way your web page is being organized, and you are trying to debug how exactly or what exactly has gone wrong from this on this particular code. You are able to understand that, okay, probably is the box model or how the elements are being organized. So you are able to debug easily. So that's the essence of you learning this. And another concept we want to learn is the inline elements. So the inline elements. Okay, so what's the inline element? Just in contrast to block level elements, so an inline element is an HTML element that takes the necessary space it requires. Okay, unlike the block level element, it doesn't take the full width of a web page. It takes the necessary space it needs. So an example is a span. Okay, so a span is an example of HTML type or HTML element that we could use. This, let's say, this takes the required space. Okay, now it takes the required space. If we scroll down and we hover on it, where is it? Span. You see, it takes the required space. So the lengthier the content within it, the longer, the wider it's the wider the space. It doesn't take the full width. So it's controlled, unlike the block level element that just takes the full width. And that's why we can have the inline element within a block level element. So if I say div, and I move this into this, you see, and I Control S. Now, if we try to apply this style on it, copy, and we paste it here, and we change the color to something else, let's say red, and we Control S, you can now see that, and we can also give it, let's say margin of 10 pixels, Control S, so that we space it out, okay, and we can give it padding too, padding of 10 pixels, space things out, okay, Control S, and now we can see that within this our block level elements we can have the inline elements. So if we paste here also the style, okay, let's paste the style here, and we change this, instead of background color we change it to color, and we Control S so that we can see differently, and we say white so that we can see the text properly. Control S. Now we can see that within the block level element we can have the inline elements, and the inline elements takes the necessary space. Just to confirm and to let you know that we can have two inline elements side by side, unlike block level element that stack on each other. So if I type or add another span here, and I say continuous or continue content, and I Control S, you see that the content from where it stops, it continues. Unlike the block level element, if it had been a block level element, it will stack. Okay, the content will jump to the next line. So basically, this is how we apply inline and block level elements, and that's why in most web pages you will see that the block level elements are mostly used to structure the web page, okay, and they are used to create cards, and they serve as containers most time. And you can also see that the H1 too is an example of block level element. If I add another H1 here and I say Simon and I Control S, you see it jumps to the next line. So just to show you that inline elements and block level elements are totally different techniques used in structuring an HTML page. So this is basically how you apply it in your web development. So in case you are working on a project or you are using AI, yes, AI can just generate programs of code for you. But at some point you will come across a particular bug that will require this fundamental or ground techniques to be able to debug and solve the problem. AI could also debug it for you, but sometimes it could be so frustrating that you don't even understand. But if you have this baseline or this fundamental understanding of this particular concept, then it's easy and faster for you to solve the problem or debug that particular issue. So until our next class, we'll come back here and continue from where we stop. So keep coding, keep learning, and as always, small bites makes a big impact. See you next time.